Oh, the places you will go when you stop caring about others' opinions on who you should be. Hey, it's Heather Chauvin, wife, mother of 3 boys, former social worker, breadwinner, recovering hustler, and stage 4 cancer survivor. I'm not a fan of that term, by the way. Beyond all of these titles and labels, I'm a human being, just like you, attempting to navigate it all while feeling good. My goal on this podcast is to show you that you can live an energized, sustainable life both at home and in your work. It doesn't matter if you stay at home full-time, if you work from home, you're a CEO, a successful business owner, or trying to find some inspiration. On this show, I attempt to keep it real with stories, interviews, and random thoughts. This is not a business or career podcast, and it's not a parenting podcast. It's both and so much more. You will laugh. You may even cry, and you may even get a little frustrated with the truth you've been hiding from yourself. I believe all human behavior is a language, whether it's through your child's behavior, your health, or a relationship. And when we learn to listen instead of react, we begin to understand what it truly means to feel alive and in control. It's time to put your big girl pants on and find your brave. Let's go. Ladies, I am back, and today I'm super excited for this podcast. It has actually been a hot topic this week, and I'm really excited to kind of pull back the layers and just speak my truth on how I feel about people pleasing and showing up as you are, speaking your truth, and doing whatever the fuck you want to do. So if you haven't noticed, today or this week, I've kind of been off on my podcasting schedule. Actually, the last few weeks I've been off, and I'm okay with it. This is the whole process of imperfection. And part of the reason why I've been off a little bit is because I've been recalibrating on, how I want to run my business. Obviously trying to maintain children and life and doing all of that fun stuff. But it's a perfect example of temporarily letting go whatever we need to let go when we have big shifts and changes in our lives. But the good news is the reason why I haven't been on my game this week is because behind the scenes, we have actually started creating something magical for you, which I will be announcing next week. So if you're interested and you are a woman who runs a business, or you are a woman with a business idea and have some really amazing skills that you're ready to execute on, I have something for you. And this is also for women who have been stuck at home with their children and you've had a big aha moment around this is not sustainable, nor is it the life and the new normal that I want to create in my future. So just planting that little seed, and I will be giving more details next week. That said, behind the scenes, I have been supporting my current clients inside my mastery coaching programs, my Soul Elite coaching program for executive level women. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you are in the world, what your roles are, how much money you make. We are all challenged with the same limiting beliefs of sometimes not being enough. And stepping into our power and our light and, really giving ourselves permission to want what we want in the world. And I started this podcast because my biggest pain point was my children. And it wasn't so much my children that was the pain point. It was me and understanding how to parent in alignment with how I wanted to feel rather than parenting the way that the world wanted me to parent. So punishing my children for their behavior, putting them in timeout, really disciplining my children when I knew that their behavior was trying to speak to me in a bigger way was not in alignment with how I wanted to feel and be remembered as a mother. And so what I've witnessed over the years is that all human behavior is a language. You've heard me say this over and over and over again. All human behavior is a language, and it's chronically speaking to us. So when we listen to that behavior, and we adapt it and change in our lives, we then find alignment. So what does this mean? I'm going to give you some examples. This week, I spoke to a woman who is in her corporate job. She's been thinking about leaving for a really, really long time because she went through a spat of burnout. And then she almost had, like her spiritual awakening to not this, but also wanting to stay in the job and learn the lessons that she needed to learn from these opportunities. And continuously learning, but her intuition saying, it's time to go, it's time to go. And then when she decided to go, COVID hit, and it almost, knocked her a few steps back. And now she's experiencing this, what I call, all behavior is a language, and her body and her mind and her emotional state are again teaching her not this. And in order to get out of that, we have to take some very uncomfortable, challenging action in a direction that may piss people off. When you're choosing yourself, when you're choosing not to neglect yourself, when you're choosing to love yourself, when you're choosing to honor yourself, that is scary. That is brave and courageous. Because the second you do that, not only are you going against a social norm that women, do not have a voice, that women shouldn't feel good, that women cannot be embodied and empowered. When you become that empowered woman, automatically you become a trailblazer. You become a leader for other women to do the same. And so there you are making a declaration to the universe that I am now on this path to become what I desire to see in my own children, which is not burnt out, which is beautiful and energized in your own body and your own mind. And in order to do that, you have to say, no, thank you. This no longer works for me. And I am going to leap, and it is fucking terrifying. Another conversation that I had with a woman this week, and she said to me, I don't know who I am without my people-pleasing tendencies. Everything that I do is for other people. From cleaning my car, if people get into my car, the judgments that they might have of me, to how I style my hair, to the clothes that I wear, to the actions that I take. I want to be productive. I want to be proactive, but all for the betterment of everybody else and not myself. And COVID has given her an opportunity to kick this stuff up more, asking, what do I want? What do I want? And when we start to ask those questions and we start to act from those questions, I want to dye my hair pink. I want to quit my job. I want to travel again the second that I possibly can. I want to throw it all away. I want a softer, quieter life. Whatever it is that you want and desire, you get to choose. You get to choose. But the second you decide to choose, that is an act of courage and bravery. So when you say, I want, and you act on it, you are going against the current, and magical things happen. What we often don't realize is the excuses that we're creating for ourselves. Let me repeat that. The excuses that we are creating for ourselves are perpetuated from the continuous conversation of women who are not using their voice or speaking their truth. And so through this time, I've been noticing women saying, I'm overwhelmed. There's not enough time. I can't do it all. But yet they're trying to do it all. And we do have moments of fatigue. We do have moments of overwhelm. We do have moments when we just got to get shit done. But what happens if that invisible mother load that is dumped on you, involuntarily dumped on you, you let half of it go because it's not life or death? Your house doesn't need to be spotless. Your fridge doesn't need to be spotless. Your car does not need to be spotless. And it feels very counterintuitive. It feels selfish. It feels luxurious. It feels wrong. It feels guilty to choose yourself first. To stop neglecting your needs. To say, fuck it. I'm not doing this for you anymore because I don't want to. I can't have this conversation with you right now because I don't have the capacity for it. The second we decide to make these declarations to ourselves or to other people, we will ruffle their feathers. But you are here to make an impact. There's a reason why you're listening to this podcast. There's a reason why your stuff has been triggered to the point of I can't handle this anymore. And that reason is because you were chosen. You were chosen to make the bigger impact in this world. You were chosen to heal these parts of yourself. You were chosen. Sometimes that feels like an even bigger responsibility. But when you choose to be up for that challenge, not only are you breaking generational patterns, you are gifting your children and the next generation opportunity for more healing. Oh, the things that happen when you stop giving a shit.